training program and the resource person of today's session on sexual issues. I and Professor R.N. Singh, patron WCOP. I wholeheartedly invite the executive committee of WCOP, Professor B.G. Reddy, the president and the founder of WCOP and the brain behind all these training programs. Professor V.R. Suhasini, the General Secretary, WCOP, Professor V. Suresh, Treasurer, WCOP. And it is my pleasure to invite the chairperson of today's session, Professor H.S. Ashok, and the guest of honor and core committee member, Professor T. Bharati, and the special invitee of today's program, Dr. P. Inak Balasundar Rao. Really, I invite Professor K. Ashok, coordinator of the training program, and Mrs. P. Ramadevi, coordinator and rapporteur of the training program. The core committee members, WCOP members, and the dear participants of the training program. Once again, I welcome you all to this session. And now, as Professor B.G. Reddy is not here, there is no force, so we'll start the program by ourselves, and as he has given the instruction, what I told you is we will start with the Professor Ashok. I read out his brief biodata, and then the chairperson of today's session. Professor H.S. Ashok is from the Department of Psychology, Bangalore University. Yes. Is it clear? Is it not audible? Yeah. Professor H.S. Ashok is from the Department of Psychology, Bangalore University, with 35 years of experience. More than 14 PhDs and in his credit, and he published 15 research papers in national and international journals. And he is a consultant to many organizations in and around Bangalore. He is a well-known trainer and conducted many training programs and workshops in and around Bangalore. Presently, he is working as adjunct professor in a private university, Bangalore. Now, I request him to give a brief message in connection with this training program in 4 or 5 minutes, sir. Thank you very much. And I invite you to give your message on this training program, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor. Let me thank and congratulate WCOP for conducting useful programs so that, the demand for psychology and psychological services is on the rise. Thanks to pandemic. So there's a lot of, the need for psychological services. In this background, I think WCOP is doing a commendable job. I think they have chosen a very good, theme for the training program on family counseling and what are the different issues that are coming up in family counseling. And
thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, without the words of Professor B.G. Reddy, the program will not become complete. So hence I request Professor B.G. Reddy, the president of WCOP, to give his short message on this program.
Thank you, Dr. Vimal Garu, for having introduced me here. So, first of all, good evening to the chairman of this training program, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan, sir. Then today's chairperson, H.S. Ashok from Bangalore University. Then today's guest of honor, Professor Tumapudi Bharati from Mahila University, Tirupati. Then Karimnagar Enoch, he was our erstwhile student of Venkateswara University, distance education. He's a special invitee. Then Professor Krishnamurthy, Professor Vimalya. These two are the core committee members, and other core committee members I am welcoming. Then our guru, teacher, the chief patron, Professor P.V. Ramamurthy, sir, then Misraji, another chief patron, and the patron of WCOP, our Vedagiri Ganeshan sir. Then Professor Arun Singh, another patron from Uttar Pradesh. Then executive committee members and course coordinator Professor Ashok from Warangal. Then today I requested Dr. Vimala to lead this program because as a novelty. Then last but not the least, our beloved participants. I once again welcoming all these beloved participants. I think day by day, I think the practical sessions are being started for the past 4 sessions. I think this is the 4th session. But some of the candidates, participants are still, I think I'm not able to understand why they are not participating. But I said in the beginning itself, 75% of the attendance as far as the total program is concerned, and particularly the practical sessions are quite important. You can absent in theory, but you are not supposed to absent in the practical sessions. Particularly these sessions, our beloved resource person, Professor Ganeshan sir is giving. You can't get this type of training anywhere in the world, I can assure, I can say. So don't miss this training program, particularly sessions, practical sessions. So anyway, try to just cooperate and try to just learn whatever the skills being given to the group, this renowned group. So I hope you will all cooperate and you will learn. I think when we conducted 3 months training program earlier, as far as school counseling is concerned, now almost all the trainees and many of the trainees are also being involved in this training program also. And they are all implementing the learned skills in their respective schools, respective institution, and they are obtaining good results. And similarly, I request all these participants who are involved in this family counseling also, once you learn all these skills, particularly this family area is most important and current problem. And in this area, psychologists need, psychologists skills, psychologists service is most essential and important also. So I request the participants, please do not miss this training sessions, particularly practicals. So with this, now I request Dr. Vimala to hand over. Please go ahead, madam.
Thank you, B.G. Reddy garu. Next, now it is my pleasure to introduce our guest of honor, Professor T. Bharati, and introduce today's special invitee, Dr. P. Idak Balsundar Rao garu.
Good evening, everybody.
A multi-talented senior.
Thank you, ma'am.
Senior physical director. He is a national player of football, handball, and athletics. And he is an event manager, poet, writer, caption creator. Now, as I cordially invite Professor V. Ganeshan, the chairperson of the training program, to give an insight and knowledge in the issues of especially sexual issues, which are having a lot of stigma in the society, whom nobody will utter a word regarding this in family counseling, how it works, what are the impact of these sexual issues in family counseling. So we are all of us are waiting for your knowledge and insight on this issue of family sexual issues in family counseling, how you have to address them. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Professor Reddy garu and Professor Ashok, Professor Krishnamurthy, and my dear participants. Now, the topic is sexual issues. It's a very broad and vital area. And Professor Reddy has started with sexual deviation. Next is rape. Next is abuse. and fragility and impotence. Now, when it comes to family counseling, according to Hindu Marriage Act, the purpose of family is defined as having offsprings, husband and wife living together in harmony and producing the next generation. And for that, the sexual issues have to be sorted out. Otherwise, it leads to divorces, extramarital affairs, etc. And the new thing which is coming up is being a gay or a lesbian. So these are few things which are brought from abroad. Wearing a jeans from American style is all right, but not to have same-sex marriage. And legally also, it is not preventable because the world is moving away from the traditional system. So now the task of psychologists is to help people to come out of the problem. First of all, let us take what is sexual deviation. And all of you know what is a deviation, so I'm not going to tell about that. But why the deviation is because of certain traumatic incidences which have happened in the lives of the individual who has become a deviant. One thing, they have been prematurely introduced to sexual aversion by adults, okay, or peers like that. Then they engage in that and it becomes an addiction or a habit. Now, how to win away from the habit is the central aspect. Next comes rape, because a lot of pent-up energy because of the stimulation by the films and by the porn videos, they stimulate the person and they seek some kind of satisfaction from others, okay? And they get such opportunities also as young children or even as adults. Again, the arousal, sexual arousal, how to handle it is to be given as part of a training to such cases. Otherwise, it's very difficult to change that kind of deviant behavior. Now, I would like the participants to raise a question because it's not a lecture program where I talk on a topic and the time is limited. So if you can pose a problem, then I can suggest solutions or techniques. Please come forward. Yes.
Yes, Vani Panabaka or Sridevi, Shahina. Yeah, you can just practicing counselors are also just attending the program. Kindly open up just just you can raise questions. You can get clarification from our sir.
Sir, can I?
Yeah, you please.
Sir, sir.
Yes.
Sir, Professor Vedagiri Garu. Sir, good evening. So, as I already told, I work for science schools. So,
Okay.
in our schools,
Yeah,
nearly.
you keep your mic a little bit distance. Yeah, it is giving
Hello.
resound.
Hello.
Yes.
Now, sir, is it audible?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
now okay.
Yes, yes.
Sir, I work for residential school, government residential schools. In each residential college, nearly 600 to 700 boys, separate boys and girls will reside there. So our day-to-day problem is that in the morning assembly, when we assemble and we take the report, nearly 10 to 20 cases of sexual abuse come to us. So it is a practice since 20 years going on, and nobody raises how to solve. Nobody thinks or nobody bothers what is going on in the night. So as we all know that, as you told now, just now, that the media, the multimedia, or all this digitalization have created a nuisance. And we, the teachers, just teacher come, he teaches the subjects and go off. But as a physical director, or as a physical education teacher, or a hostel warden, or a health supervisor, there's a lot of headache. For example, I worked for four districts and nearly 15 colleges. So in every college, the problem is the same. That is, they are homosexuals. So homosexuality, our secretary Garu, Damayanti, senior IAS officer, she started a movement, adolescents education. And up to my knowledge, nearly 150 crores were dumped in that project. 150 crores. And we were given the literature, and we were made counselors, and we were made the leaders to educate them. Even though we have educated the generation, so for time being, for 1 week or 10 days or 1 month, they will be okay. Afterwards, again the same habit, the bad habit continues. So what I seek from your benevolent advisor, up to my knowledge, I am
Okay.
giving the best available counseling in the society, in Telangana or in the AP, but I am not being success. Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah, it's nice you have come out with a very important issue with youngsters who are in schools.
Yes, sir.
Do you have gays and lesbians?
Ours is only boys' school, sir. The same thing is with girls' schools also. Yes, sir.
Yes. Do
Yes,
you
sir.
think that it may be there in girls also?
Surely, sir. 100%. 100%.
But that is only a guess, okay?
No, no, sir.
Anyway,
Yes,
we'll
sir.
not go to that. We'll not go to that.
Oh, sir.
Actually, the sexual arousal starts from the age of 14 plus, or sometimes even earlier, because of the exposure by adults.
Sir.
Some adults abuse the young boys or young girls. As a result, they develop a sexual arousal, and that creates the problem. So the counselor should ask who started this, which relative, a cousin or whoever it is. First, it is to be blocked because it may continue even in the holidays, okay, school holidays. So we should talk to one, find out and share the information with the parents so that they can prevent that kind of adult exploitation, sexual exploitation. That's the first step. And we should have a file for each case. That is the first step. You should give a parental counseling also. Second, how to help this person who has already started and is trying to influence younger boys. The elder boys will abuse the younger boys. Okay. Then you have to find out who is the active homosexual. The person uses, the other person is active. The person who keeps quiet is a passive. So find out the active because he is going to spoil so many other fellows. Okay. And tell the person, we know that you have a problem, that you have to say. And you want to come out of it, you ask the question. What is known as their commitment is essential. Okay. You should not give a lecture program, but you should talk to one. So much of money is invested. But there should be people who talk to these people, either psychologists or other teachers who are trained by psychologists. One of the technique is ask them to look at, even if they have got porn addiction, freeze a picture of a boy or a girl, depending upon the situation, and ask them to laugh aloud looking at the picture. The more they laugh, maybe how long they can laugh, for 2 full minutes to laugh, looking at a picture only, okay, picture of a boy. A boy looks at the picture of a boy and starts laughing aloud. What difference it is going to make when they laugh? There are endorphins which are released from the brain into the blood, and the person feels it is funny. Okay, instead of sexual arousal, the person feels it is funny. Okay, next stage is you will feel this is nonsense. girl to girl or boy to boy. Have a picture which you can download from Google. It's only frozen picture. Ask them to look at it and start laughing. Okay, this laughing is an antidote and which releases certain hormones and reduces. It is just like a snake bite and an antidote is given, something like that. Otherwise, he will get excited and he would like to have sex. So the stimulation is a good picture. Okay, and then his response is usually having an erection. But now, if you made to laugh, erection will not come because only one thing will happen at a time. Either you'll be sexually aroused or the other track is laughter. Laughter is an antidote. Okay, maybe you can have 2-3 pictures also. And you laugh for it 3 times per picture. Okay, it has to be done on an individual basis. It is almost like a surgical procedure. Okay, it is an intensive behavior therapy. Okay, if it is done 3 pictures, every picture they have to laugh 3 times, then their urge to become a gay will go away. That is very important. Okay, otherwise, when the boys grow up, when they become husbands, they would always go in for a boy, not the wife. Similarly, a girl, when she grows up, she would always run after women and not husband. They would detest or dislike or avoid sex with the husband. That leads to family disharmony, divorce, separation, etc. So it is better to catch them young and treat them and tell the teachers to do it. And this is a procedure which I would recommend. And it will definitely work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Yes.
Sir, Professor Ganeshan, sir,
Yes, please.
I too had the same information when I visited before year 55 institutions, particularly
Okay.
hostels also I
Okay.
visited.
Okay.
Among 250 students, I came to know the warden reported 40 to more than 40 students as are homosexuals. So
Okay.
what I suggested, ask them to just with a space, just for a minimum distance, a little bit. Of course, hostels, when we maintain so much of distance, also it will not be just sufficient. That is also another problem. So, as you said, one-to-one counseling given by neither by the teachers concerned and who are having much knowledge as far as this skills are concerned, and as you said, influenced by psychologists. So this is a continuous problem. Almost all the hostels, when I visited in Chandragiri nearby Tirupati also, same problem, particularly boys. And similarly, these homosexuals, girls also. This is a perennial problem. Is there any, of course, you have given a very good technique. Apart from that, can we not do it other than this anything?
Okay, there are techniques, but this is a very effective. That's why I told. Say, for example, what happens in the behavioral language, they get reinforced by the orgasm. When they look at the other person, touches, hugs, and then ejaculates, that is the orgasm, which is a very strong reward. Then the behavior will be repeated because it is rewarded. That is the problem. That is why I said, look at a picture of a stimulant, boy to boy or girl to girl, whatever, or girl to boy to girl, like that. Look at the stimulus and naturally they will get erection. They will get excited. They will feel like masturbating at least. But ask them to laugh. Once they start laughing, you are establishing a new response link. The usual response link is different. If the young person has been masturbating or having sex with a homosexual, maybe for the last 5 years, but this teaches the brain to choose to respond in a different way. You may think a single dose, will it be all right? But the single dose itself says there is an option. The excitement goes away. That is a very important thing. That's why 3 times for one model, again 2 more models, 3 times. And this is almost like a surgical procedure done in the theater. It is with the therapist or the teacher who is administering should have a laptop with a picture and ask the person to look at it and start laughing. This is one technique. This is a very strong dose technique, which I am telling. The milder doses are look at the nude picture, which is stimulating. Slowly breathe out through the mouth and breathe in through the nose. So the air should be let out of the mouth and breathe in through the nostrils. If he does it for 5 minutes per picture, so he need not have 100 pictures. Even with one picture, the more he relaxes the breathing, the arousal of the brain and the other glands like gonad and all that will be switched off. They get desensitized. Otherwise, they are hyper. Okay, the neuromuscular system, the brain, the nerve, and the genital system, and the hormonal system, they start working pretty fast because it is habituated. It is just like smoking and drinking. Once the stimulus is there, they start responding. What I am telling is teach the brain of the person to respond differently. One is laughter, another is slow breathing. Breathe out slowly and breathe in slowly, okay, for a fairly long time. They will not care about the picture or the nudity. They would say, it's okay, it doesn't affect me. Because what is happening is, it is recorded in the brain. The moment they look at a human body, then the brain starts. They cannot stop. And this is a central aspect in handling rapists also. Not only all sexual deviant behaviors can be handled like this. And that's why we should spare more time in treating one case. Suppose there is, as Professor Redigaru has told, 40 people, 50 people. You spend time with each person, okay, and things will be all right. They also would like to come out. They are ashamed, they feel guilty, but they do not know how to come out. So this is like a surgical procedure which will definitely help, and they will get desensitized to the male nude or the female nude, because you can download pictures from the net. Okay, that's what I would suggest. That's what I do also. Okay. In handling, yes, please.
Sir, can you suggest any method for prevention, sir? Because most of the students will have, and it because of stigma, they don't reveal. Only very few people will reveal. What I experienced when in engineering students during this COVID time, they are very much addicted to this porn and all that things. With a few 4 or 5 of the students came to me and they have given some counseling. We have given. But they said 84% all of our classmates are doing this, ma'am. Only we came to you, and this is very common in our age group.
Yes,
So what I suggest is, can you suggest any of the preventive or group counseling method for the students?
I would say, as a researcher and as a professional,
yes,
you should not go by what people say.
Yeah.
They say 80% or 60%.
Right.
Don't go with that. But if they say they have a problem, like we go to a doctor and say we have a pain somewhere, he starts treating. So ask the person to bring a friend or known to the person, junior or senior, and then you handle the person. It's a one-to-one basis you have to do. That's important. But if you want generally to be given to a whole class of 100 people or 300 people, ask them to slowly breathe out and slowly breathe in, because this is a This breathing out and breathing in as slow as possible brings down anger, fear, worry, and sex also. So I have already given the same technique. I can repeat. When they breathe out, they have to say 1. When they breathe in, 2, then 3 and 4, and count down the number and write down. Say if it is 40 or even 50, write it down. The first column is 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, up to 10. Second column, it is a number. Okay, say it is 40 or 50 or 45. Then the third column is n by 2. So 40 means it becomes 20. Ask them to repeat 10 trials. When they repeat, it will come down to 5 easily. Okay. When they consciously do it, the respiratory system comes down, comes under voluntary control. Then the oxygen intake is more, the expulsion of wasted gas is more, and the wasted gases are containing the sex-related hormones. It is just like a exhaust fan. When they do like this, they can bring it down to 3. And again, repeat another session. After 15 minutes break, do it again. If you have the whole day, they can bring it down to 3. That is fairly okay. There may be arousal, but then it comes under control because they are applying the brake. Okay. Otherwise, even if they want to apply the brake, it will not work. So breathing holds the key for anger, fear, worry, and sex. So that's a general technique which can be given to large number of people, 300, 500 people over mic. Online also you can give this program to large number of people. Okay. But
Thank you, sir.
if they come out as an individual and say, I need help, for that only I have suggested the other techniques.
Sir, my contribution here,
Yeah.
see, actually, as Enoch said, see, he is the only psychologist, and students, see, in his one single institute, minimum 600 students, he is telling. So a single person is, I think, he cannot cover 600 people. Suppose the government comes forward, or even in case government may not come forward, we being psychologists, after receiving training and voluntarily going to such institutions, and just say 600 students are there. Say there are about trained people, at least availability of trained people in that area. So once in a 15 days, at least voluntarily, they can go to that institute and they can be friendly with the boys or whom I admit. So I say, madam is there, Vimala. She can also be just visiting the girls' institute. She can share because, madam can share with the girl students. And, she can explain advantages and disadvantages. So that would be, that would help, I think, to somehow, to some
Yes.
extent.
Yes, yes.
Another thing, it is not a crime, just that particularly this homosexuality, that is a temporary period, temporarily. But in a village also, this is a quite natural problem. That is not a crime. But once it is being addicted, then problem. But once they just leave those institutions, whether boys or girls, a degree college, then they go to PG college. A lot of maturity will come once they enter into PG courses. Then they will be entering into married life. Then married life means then they will forget about everything. This is not a crime. This is not a major problem. But once the boy or the girl is being addicted to it, then only problem. See,
Actually, when they get into the problem, they will get addicted, like smoking and drinking. So
yeah,
one of the thing is how to help these children, 600 children in a school or college. You train some of the teachers who are willing to help. You
Yeah.
become the trainer's trainer.
Yeah.
And give a general talk.
Sure, sir.
Definitely 1 or 2 people will come. You with them, you give a demonstration how the case is being treated.
Good.
With 4 or 5 teachers. with one expert,
Enough.
and then they start working. And if they have problem, they will be in touch with a trainer. Okay. In that way, it will because those people are permanently there. The visiting psychologist cannot be handling all the cases. You
Yeah.
can train the trainer. That's all.
Yes, yes.
And that will be the job of the World Conference of Psychology.
Yeah,
That's
see,
all.
sir, almost in all the institutions, all in each school, minimum at least people who did psychology through distance mode. If not in our institute, some many institutes are now running distance mode courses. So
Yes.
at least in a single institute, minimum 1 or 2 psychologists are there. Psychologists in the sense they have studied psychology, but they may not be having skills. So the very purpose of conducting these training programs for them
Yes.
only.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
another problem which I told you now, suppose if we leave alike, that boy or the girl becomes habituated. Once they get married also, I counseled these type of cases in many cases, but one peculiar case I observed. So even after marriage also, by accidentally they had one boy or girl. They are also studying in high school education. But the problem his wife came and gave a complaint in the police station. The case in turn comes to me. She is complaining that instead of enjoying with me, this gentleman is going to the bathroom and there he is undergoing masturbation. So that is the problem with this gentleman, sir. How can I lead a life with him? That is her complaint. But this fellow, then again, I interviewed that fellow. He is telling that, no, sir, when just that was a situation for about 10 years, I just somehow, the things went on well. But,
Okay.
no,
That's a problem of habituation,
yeah,
addiction.
yeah, addiction.
I would suggest one technique known as the pre-MAC principle. Pre-MAC, P-R-E-M-A-C-K. Pre-MAC was a psychologist in US, and he has developed this technique. Okay. And what is the technique? It is very simple. Once you have sex with the wife and satisfy her till she has got orgasm, then you are eligible to go and masturbate. Okay.
Okay.
The pre-MAC is used in so many cases, and his focus becomes he has to satisfy the wife. So he has to perform slowly and make her to reach the orgasm. Then he can go and perform. If he does like that, he will not masturbate.
Oh.
We can wean him away from masturbation.
Thank you, sir. Very good technique.
Welcome. Welcome.
We'll go to next problem, sir.
Yes.
Rape. Shall we go for rape?
Yes. No, all these things start only when the person has not handled the sexual arousal. That's a central aspect.
Yes.
So if we teach youngsters in schools first, college next, okay, then they will know how to handle the arousal. Once the psychophysiological arousal is there and the hormones are pumped into the blood, then one becomes wild and they go for raping. Okay, they cannot stop. It is just like a speeding vehicle without brake failure. Okay, so even a rapist has to be treated than punished. So if you come across a rapist in the prison, please treat the person. As I already told, regulating the breathing, slowing down the breathing will solve any addiction, any emotional addiction. Because there is less oxygen in the blood, which goes to the brain. And that is one thing. And the person is not expelling the gases, okay, obnoxious gases which are produced by sex-related hormones into the blood. So when a person breathes slowly out, like an exhaust fan, his sex feeling goes out. Okay, the blood gets purified. Okay, But meditation helps, okay, pranayama helps, but they take more time. But the technique which I am telling is like a capsule. It works immediately. But one thing you should supervise. If you tell the technique, that they will not go and do it. It is just like admitting a case in ICU and the nurse pops in the tablet and the water. So it should be a supervised program. And once they feel the change, they will do it. Okay, then the person is shifted to the ward, discharged and goes home and then uses the drug schedule like that. That is why I say treat the case one-to-one. And if they are not qualified, it's all right to train them only in this technique. Like that, many techniques can be passed on to the teachers who are available there. And you cannot be spending your time there. Okay. And this is what I would suggest. So such training programs are needed for the trainers. Trainers should train others. That's what I would say.
Itself is a train yourself and train others.
Yes,
WCOP.
yeah, that's it. That's a spirit. Yes.
Yeah. Another one important item which comes under sexual issues, that is impotency, sir. So olden days, impotency, I think either elder people might have not heard of it. But now the recent trend is gradually the impotency rate, as far as my knowledge goes, every year it is increasing. Every year. I think I cannot assure the percentage, but it is crossed more than 3%. And people, the boys look like a very good physique also. But complaint is the girl, wife gave a complaint in the police station. One intern, the case came to us. First thing, when a couple comes, the first point any counselor should find out
Yes.
what would be the sexual adjustment, number one. Once
Yes.
sexual adjustment is there, they will not go to the police station or they will not go to anyone.
Yes.
So main reason, see, lack of sexual adjustment and the problem just arose. And there the psychologist role is quite required.
Yes.
So this is a problem, this impotency rate gradually increasing. Why? Because of the food habits. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
People are taking junk foods and they are not going and having a ragi ball or some other items. See, almost all the younger generation, they are just habituated to junk foods only,
Yes. Yes.
particularly food habits.
Actually, the rajasic food, the non-vegetarian food will trigger sexual urge. So it is better they go for a plant-based diet. Now these things are coming up in the West, plant-based diet instead of animal-based diet. In case of rapists and sexually aggressive people, whether man or woman, okay, they have to switch over to plant-based diet, or in other words, it's a vegetarian in simple terms. That is one thing. And another thing for impotence is their mind is going so fast. Okay. The mind is thinking about sex much earlier than the real sex. So this is what Masters and Johnson and other experts have told. If you take two people, two persons, males, A starts from the office, goes to the house, relaxes, and has sex with the wife, say around 9:30 or 10 o'clock. And B starts in the office, starts thinking that he is going to have sex with his wife on that day. The moment he starts thinking, the hormones will trigger, okay? Then the moment he goes home, again it is triggered much. When he goes to the bedroom and undresses, he ejaculates. Because in humans, it is a mental activity than a physiological activity. So people should not start thinking. Once they start thinking, finished, the ejaculation comes. Okay. Similarly, for women, if they start thinking, their panties will become wet. Okay. then they cannot enjoy sex. So one of the things is the mental discipline. They should not think about sex. Now, what is the alternative? They start thinking now how to regulate this kind of temptation or psychophysiological arousal. Keep on repeating the name of your favorite god in the mind. Once a thought comes of sex, keep on repeating the name of your favorite god, Ishtadevata, because it becomes a mental diversion. Then the hormonal release will not be there. Okay. And then when they go to bed, they can start. When they strip, they can start. If they start thinking in the office, naturally they will ejaculate too fast. Okay. And we don't have data how many of them are like that. But we have some data in Coimbatore, 33% of people are having premature ejaculation. Okay. We have interviewed women and asked about their husbands. They said 33% of the women are having this problem and they are not getting satisfied. They are having premature ejaculation by the husband. Okay. So there is no use of doing a survey. You start solving one case, that is enough. Second, third, fourth, fifth, 100, like that. Because you should know the technique and you should be confident it works and it will work like that. Okay. So, for example, I would give a behavioral prescription for the husband. Very simple. Engage in foreplay, but no penetration for today. Then the arousal comes under control. Okay. You have foreplay, that means he will get excited, but there is a ban on penetration. Do it for 3 days. Then the impotence can be solved. Because he gets desensitized towards sex. So he gets a discipline of not penetrating for 3 days. What I say is it should be all quickly, it should be working. Otherwise, if you say for 1 month, nobody will do it. Because when you go to a doctor, he gives an injection or a tablet, things become all right. So you should develop brief behavior technologies. And this is one thing. For any impotent husband, you can tell the wife also, both of them, you are not going to have sex for 3 days. Because the wife has to cooperate. Otherwise, she will get excited. So the therapist should tell both of them, you will have foreplay, but not penetration. And both of them get mentally disciplined. Whereas in animals, it happens only during seasons. The dogs and donkeys and tigers and elephants, they happen according to the season. But in humans, it is the mind. So, which is the sex organ? In man or woman, it is the brain, not the penis and the vagina. The brain only triggers the hormones into the blood and then the organ comes at the end. So the mind has to be regulated. The habits have to be changed like that. And it is not very difficult. Okay, that's what I would say.
Yeah, it is really a wonderful technique, sir. We have not heard. This is the first time we are hearing from you, sir.
Oh, thank you.
It's a very good technique.
Yes.
Right, sir. So, shall we conclude, sir?
Yes,
Sir,
please.
sir, 1 second, sir. Sir, one
Please, please.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I have a small doubt, sir. Can we educate the boys and girls at a time about these addictions in the class, sir? Otherwise, we need to educate separately the boys and girls.
Yeah, their problems are different. We have to talk to them separately.
Separately, sir. Sir,
Separately.
recently, I have attended one program. There, one
minute.
health worker.
Sabina, I'm not able to
Sir,
see your
sir.
face. What is the problem?
Sir, here, sir,
Okay, it's all right.
for here we don't have network, sir, because of
Okay,
network problem.
It's all right. It's all right.
Thank you, sir.
Go on.
Recently, I have attended one program, sir. There, one health worker educated the period problems of girls, even to the boys also. Is this correct, sir?
No. They can do it only for boys and only for girls, not in the presence of boys
Separately.
and girls. Yeah, they can do it. Okay.
There is a
Okay.
danger also.
Yeah,
We educate
Okay.
both mixing together. There is a
Yes,
danger
sir.
also. It is not quite advisable also.
that is.
So they
right?
have done like that, sir.
Am I right, sir?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Now the media, it doesn't know what they are doing. They
Yes,
didn't consult an expert. Okay. Yeah.
So
See,
we have to do separately, sir.
separately, they can ask all sorts of questions, okay? And do it separately. Okay, a psychologist or a gynecologist can help.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Dr. Vimal Garu.
Yeah.
Yeah, please propose vote of thanks.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. You have given a techniques which are very rare. We have not even heard about all these things. And in this session, basically, why this sexual deviance and sexual abuse, and these two are discussed. And you have given the why these things happen is your traumatic experiences, rape, foreign use. All these are the reasons for getting sexual deviant behaviors. And you have given a extraordinary techniques to control the sexual arousal for both boys and girls, and you have given so many behavioristic techniques to control them. And Dr. Inak has given raised a question regarding addressing these problems, homosexuality among the girls and boys, adolescent. For that also, you have given an excellent techniques to address each one of them, and even in groups to address the groups, you have given a breathing in and breathing out techniques, which is really excellently works for the group for addressing the large number of people, the students at a time, so that they will understand whenever they, because of stigma, most of them may not come out of this problem. Hence, that will definitely help for the in group counseling. And again, coming to the Professor B.G. Reddy, sir has given about the impotency problem, and for that also you have given some of the food habits and all the things. And the main thing is sex is a mental activity. This is not a physical activity alone, it is a mental activity. So you have to focus more on mental triggers. And you have given some of the very nice examples. And with this, these are the most of the problems can be solved with the behavioral techniques which you have suggested in this session. Sir, really, all of us are very much benefited. We didn't find all these things in any of the books. Thank you very much, sir, for this your excellent,
Thank you.
excellent
Dr.
session.
Vamala.
And really, it is very useful session. Because of the stigma, most of the things sometimes they may not come out, but still we have to address the youth. There is a need for that. So you have given excellent solutions and behavioral therapies for all these problems, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And really, all of us are very much benefited. And thank you very much, sir. Thank you. On behalf of WCOP, I thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, actually, you said it is a mental activity. So
Yes.
sexual erection and performance, it is purely, you said, mental activity. So if we give awareness to the families, being psychologists, at least families, just nowadays, you know, all there are families are meeting together in many of the occasions. So even a trained psychologist can give a kind of awareness, particularly it is a purely mental activity. Mental activity, when we are sound enough, then performance level also being increased, you said. So that means here the main problem arose the moment this gentleman goes home. He just drinks and goes there, and he creates some nuisance there. And similarly, there also, of course, wife say here vice versa. Of course, we are not telling that this gentleman is good or wife is not good. We cannot say, but you know, but whatever it might be, to have a harmony in the home, particularly as far as sexual, many problems are arising because of this sexual maladjustment only. I can say more than 80 to 90% of the problems, why they are going to the police station? Because of this only, sir. a small, it starts with a minute level and flare up like anything. So, yeah, awareness, as we psychologists, you have given a very good solution. It's purely a mental activity. Yeah, we too, as psychologists, we will agree. So here in this line, particularly our psychologists should have just bear this point in your mind. And many of them are working in respective institutions. And there also, as and when any occasion arose, you just tell them. You just tell them so that we can help people. Not that we are doing some bad activity. No, don't think like that. We are doing good activity. So that means so that we can save many of the families. That is my ambition.
Sure.
Yeah, right. Okay. Thank you, sir. Good night. Thank you for your
Thank you. Good
today
night, sir.
wonderful session. Not that other sessions are bad. All sessions are good. Whatever the session you give us,
Sir,
really, really wonderful.
sir, I too would like to give a brief.
Yes.
Who is there?
Thank you, sir.
Sakina?
Sir, I'm
Right.
Shaheen. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Good
tell.
evening to all. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good evening to all the eminent psychologists and participants. I'm Shahina. I'm a government high school teacher. Really, it's a very beneficial session, sir. Thank you, Vedagiri Ganeshan, sir, for your wonderful and simple techniques. We are fortunate to listen your voice with very simple techniques. And I thank BJ Reddy, sir, for your tireless services to the WCOP and also to the society. I thank our coordinator, Ashok sir, and today's session coordinator, Dr. T.D. Vimala ma'am, for your wonderful support. Thank you once again. Thank you all. Good night. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir. Thank you. Good night. Good night.
Thank
See you.
Good night. Good
Thank
night,
you
all.
all. Good night.
Thank you.